love you. I do, I do. Yes, I really, really do. Okay, you watching the mouse? You watching the arrow? Oh, I'm on. Well, isn't that interesting? I didn't know I was on. I didn't hit go live button. Somebody must have hit it for me. There I was setting up to go live. Say hello to little one. Say hello. Everybody, he can't hear you. Say hello. Hi. All right, how are you? What a fabulous time to be alive. Right? Right. So, hope you're all doing well. Those who aren't doing well, I hope you're doing okay. And those who are not even there, I get it. And I'm sorry. Yeah. It is. Hey, babe. You guys, why do you come in? You're coming in right when I start, right? Okay. Babe came in for treats. Let's see if he'll put up with me saying hello to you guys. Hello, GeoFactor3 and Sandra. Rage Against the Machine. Angelos, Justin Wynn, Andrew Cruz, Shauna Howard, Patricia White, Mr. Tech 33, Oracle 11, Jane Northrup, Amber Eyes, Louisiana Skywatch. Hello. And Louisiana Skywatch, I saw in the chat, was it last night or 2 nights ago, that, yeah, Awaken Sleep Room, that you had another surgery. So I really hope that you're doing okay. And sure hope that you have, support from others in real life. Very important. Tashunka B. I'm just going to leave out the M. Hi. Hi. Steve Ladner, hi. No, it's not boring. No. A lot of it is pretty painful, though. But those who want real life back, connection with other people, that's when it gets pretty hard. So let's just do radar, shall we? Looks pretty quiet. Looks quiet. And look at what they're doing with this weather front. Missouri into Arkansas. And let's eliminate it. Let's eliminate it fast. It's being hit with frequencies. See this frequency right here? Frequencies are hitting this. And they are closing down severe weather. Wow. Look at all of these nanobots activated. You got the supercells in Kansas and Oklahoma. Wow. Well, I don't know, Arizona. Are you going to get a break? Maybe. But that doesn't look good. Yeah, it looks like a tiny, tiny little blip of a supercell. But that could bring about a lot of destruction for people right smack in that area. And, yeah, get it started. Get that supercell in Montana into Canada activated. That doesn't look good. Here we look at these frequencies, Southern California. Okay, extremely low frequencies bring about earthquakes, can bring about an awful lot of destruction, can bring about landslides and mudslides and roads crumbling and bridges collapsing, and how about levees breaching, dams collapsing. So that is a 24/7 happening in Southern California. They also can be used for mind control. And think about what their government is doing in California. Every Californian should be running to Sacramento and just running into the offices and ripping them out. But hey, oh, Florida, you're like a factory for these nanobots. The nanobots, the supercells. Coming in from, well, they're not even coming in, they're being activated inland. And where are they moving? They're moving in a westerly direction. That is quite a defined little blotch of precipitation down here. All right, so let us see. No tornado alerts, but I'm going to get off the tornado alert page because severe weather captures it all. Okay, Montana and Oklahoma. Montana, right smack up there where you saw. When I get tired, my New York comes out. Look at that. Severe weather, Montana. Activate severe weather. And for Oklahoma, right there, yeah, right here, right north Oklahoma. And let's see, the counties in Montana are Sheridan and Daniels. Alfalfa, Oklahoma. Alfalfa County, again, the link is in the chat. Pay very close attention. Check out radar several times a day. The link to the severe weather alert page is in the chat, and I will put radar in the chat. They're bringing about an awful lot of this. Some major storms are not even forecasted. They just come about, okay? So that's why you really do need to pay attention to what's happening on radar and these alerts. Hey, Trent Rob. So, wow, very few people have joined us, but it's Saturday night. Perhaps people still have a life. Not to say that you guys don't have a life. Please don't take offense. Okay, but it is Saturday night. And I do see from Thursday to Sunday a drop off. I've noticed that. But anyway, more sinkholes for New Jersey.
An incredible sight, the backyards of homes falling into a brook in a town. It is an incredible sight, the backyards of homes falling into a brook in a town in New Jersey.
Christine Sloan covers the Garden State, and she was there as local and state officials surveyed the damage.
It's heartbreaking.
Adriana Alarcon says in the last several years, every storm has taken away a chunk of her backyard in Summit, New Jersey, and her property's falling into a brook.
We've been losing tons of land over the years. We've replaced our fence 3 times.
That fence came down again after recent rainfall that she says took more land. This picture shows what the yard looked like in 2017. A handful of homes by the brook along Springfield Avenue and Summit Road are also seeing their yards disappear. The homeowners partly blame it on a broken Union County pipe.
The stormwater drain is so damaged that the water shoots out like a fire hydrant.
CBS News New York was there when State Senator John Bromneck and Summit's recently elected council members came to see the most recent damage.
Whether it's a retaining wall, work with the county, But we need to get this issue resolved.
During Sunday's rainfall, several trees came crashing down into the brook. The concern here is that this will back up water and cause more erosion.
DEP has to make some exceptions for clearing these rivers, and DEP is very slow to do that. I'll be speaking to DEP this week to come out here.
We reached out to the county engineer but haven't heard back. The Department of Environmental Protection tells us they're looking into the matter. This couple's home on Summit Road faces the other side of the creek.
A lot of times we'll go and we'll see 2, 3, or 4, and they just slide right down to the creek.
The senator says he'll look into drafting legislation to help these residents and others across the state dealing with the same sinking situation. In the meantime, the lawmakers say they're working to get the homeowners quick monetary help. In Summit, New Jersey, Christine.
You think the government is going to be helping them? Do you? Really? I don't. Again, extremely low frequencies. If you check out on my Never Lose Truth with no number, just Never Lose Truth at youtube.com, go to my playlist on my homepage. Playlists. I've got geoengineering playlists. I've got weather modification playlists. I've got directed energy weapon playlists. I have the weapons of mass destruction, electromagnetic frequencies, those playlists, and I posted a lot throughout the years on the dangers of one particular weapon, the Gwen Tower, which is different from phone towers, from cell phone towers. Gwen Towers that are littered all over the country, extremely low frequencies. The distinct characteristic that makes it different from a cell tower are the copper wires that go down to the ground from a very high antenna. It might have some cell phone panels on it, but those copper wires that are in a perfect 360 in the ground, they can emit these frequencies through the ground, shake it up, and cause an awful lot of the destruction that we are seeing to infrastructure, to people's property, the sinkholes, etc., etc. They can also be emitted into the atmosphere to mind control individuals or regions, populations, region of whole populations, and manipulate weather. Florida residents still dealing with flooding and damage. Still doesn't stop for them. We go on and focus on something else, but they are in survival mode trying to pick up the pieces of, as far as I'm concerned, the weather terrorists that they are victims of.
I was standing up to my waistline in water, just wading back and forth to the shed.
In Glacy Shulow's backyard lies a refrigerator, and what would make up a home is now sitting in this creek.
There was 3 other freezers, refrigerators that we've already had taken out of here. Just flooded all of the neighbors' stuff, and then it just kind of came this way.
Shulow says Hurricane Debbie and an overflow from the Lake Manatee Dam flooded her neighborhood, forcing her family to pack up their livestock and evacuate. County officials tell us those who would be impacted by the overflow from the dam were notified.
There are a list of property owners downstream of the reservoir that we reach out to. We actually call them on the phone individually. Once we are full, once the reservoir is full, we have no ability to impound additional water. So that means that any water flowing in is immediately flowing out.
But those living in this community, some whose homes are now being gutted, say they should have been included after the damage they endured.
I understand it's not flood control, that I know that it's not built to do that. There were so many livestock, so many people's livelihoods that were damaged because of that, and I think it's selfish for them to say, hey, we're not a flood control and you guys don't need to know. You're on a need to know basis and you didn't need to know kind of thing.
Now, nearly 3 weeks after Hurricane Debbie, Manatee County officials are extending the state of emergency. They say the Lake Manatee Dam discharge is expected to increase to more than 7,000 cubic feet per second, and parts of Rye Road may be inundated.
We haven't even recovered from what happened 2 weeks ago. So it may be even worse than the first time as far as rainfall or the dam being flooded, or if they've released all the water, I don't see how it would. But I think it's just to be smart, just be smart about it and know that Mother Nature is going to do what it's going to do.
Ugh. Doesn't that sound like nails on a blackboard? Mother Nature. Mother Nature's going to do what Mother Nature's going to do. Oh. Okay. They don't understand. Roof collapses at Newark building and residents evacuated, and this was 4 days ago. But listen to what happened to the residents.
When I got in the hallway, it was like a waterfall.
Sharon Sims was home Sunday night when torrential rains tore through the roof of her apartment building and brought the storm straight into her living room.
It's really weird to have your 5-year-old come to you and say, hey, I think it's raining in here. It's pouring down. Not only is the water flooding in our apartment, but it's coming down in the hallway. It's coming through light fixtures.
Residents tell Pix 11 that they were bused to hotels and told that the building's management reserved rooms.
Half of us was supposed to go to Clifton, Howard Johnson, and then the other half to the East Orange Ramada.
But when they arrived, nothing was paid for, forcing people to sleep on lobby floors.
It was no communication. It was runarounds. It was, oh, we basically don't have nothing on file for you. And then the landlord, he stopped answering his phone after 3 or 4 phone calls.
They told us if we pay for our own rooms, they're going to reimburse us. And how we going to, everything is in the house. Some people don't got no phone, no wallet, no keys, no nothing.
Several returned Monday morning to find the building taped off, their stuff still inside.
For living, I drive. I got my license inside the apartment. So how I work?
Newark's Office of Emergency Management transported residents to a nearby Red Cross shelter.
Hey, you going in?
And firefighters returned Monday afternoon to rescue pets that were left behind. Residents say what happened Sunday night is just the latest instance of flooding in the building.
We may complain, they never fix it. Years ago, when it's raining, we got same problem.
They don't. This is not the way to treat people.
Days after a massive rainstorm forced
treat people. But I guess it's going to get so much worse. Look what happened in the UK. Storm Lillian. All of these weather channels. Lillian didn't destroy cities, but Lillian sure had an impact.
Storm Lillian is disrupting weekend plans across the UK. Strong winds and heavy rain from Hurricane Lillian have had a significant impact on the UK holiday weekend. A yellow weather warning has been issued for southeast England, particularly affecting areas such as Portsmouth, Hampshire, and parts of Suffolk, including Ipswich. In response to safety concerns surrounding strong winds reaching speeds of up to 72 miles per hour in northwest England and Wales, but no temporarily closed 3 stages.
That was some kind of festival that got shaken up from wind gusts. And yeah, huge sulfur dioxide cloud incoming over the UK. Wow. Huge is right. Look at this. No problem. No problem. What are they doing to us? Wait, where is it? All right, Giant. I had a video open for, this was, a trampoline over Alabama home during sudden gusts. These wind gusts are very strong. A whole lot of the wind that I was talking about, that I was experiencing in Arizona, have started here in Idaho. Every day, high winds. Today we didn't have a thunderstorm, but it's like a pattern, like Arizona, now Idaho, getting these thunderstorms and rain every day. And of course, the thunder sounds very bizarre. And then it stops, and then we have sunny skies, and then it gets really dark again, and then the thunder starts again, and the rain, and that could happen 3 or 4 times. Okay? Okay. So, these wind gusts are very intense. And as far as I'm concerned, it's not Mother Nature. It is absolutely electromagnetic frequencies. Scalar weapons that they are using. Yeah, even on, well, what we call a cloudy day, somewhat blue skies, manufactured cloud, wind gusts, boom, trampoline comes flying from your neighbor's yard, hitting your roof into your front yard. And I do want to ask Jack, where are you? Not the particulars, or details, but what county do you live in? Your sanctuary city, you can't walk in a park without the elderly and children being assaulted by gangs every night. Where are you, Jack Bauer? If you could let us know. Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of crime. All right, so let's get back to it, shall we? Yeah, China, gigantic hailstorm. Remember when hail was rare? And there's an awful lot of countries that just never experienced the kind of weather that we did here in the U.S. And now all countries are experiencing the same kind of severe weather. Don't you think that that's begs questions? Okay, the link is in the chat if you want to watch the remainder of the video, but I also recommend that you do subscribe to these channels so that you can kind of keep tabs on what's happening with this weather warfare that we're all experiencing, it's going on everywhere. 2 rescued from yacht on fire in Clearwater. So yesterday, I included in the live a yacht, a 42-foot yacht, exploding, going up in flames, and then it sank. Yachts seem to be exploding. Homes seem to be exploding. Cars seem to be exploding. What is going on? But here, this is in Florida.
Thank you, Mike. Love the picture of Bryce's doggy Buster. All right, we're getting a live look outside. We want to begin with a live look from Clearwater. This is near Coachman Park, where you can see smoke is still in the air. Crews are investigating a yacht fire. It's off in the distance there, taking place around 5 a.m. this morning. We're told, here's a closer look at the video there. All right, you can see how it's still smoking. Closer look at that area there. City officials telling us 2 people were on that boat and they were rescued by another boat that was in the area nearby. Thankfully, nobody was injured, but right now investigators are still not sure what led up to that fire. But once we get some more information or any new details, we'll be sure to let you know. But if you saw smoke...
Investigations are happening all over the place. It's amazing that they could do anything else but investigate. Water main break. Okay. I used to post, I posted a couple of videos on just a compilation of water main breaks going on all over the country and damaging people's homes, damaging people's cars. The infrastructure seems to have been forgotten, but your taxes, they didn't forget. They continued to increase them.
2 months since a water main break on Grand Rapids East Side that impacted nearly 200 homes. Now, months later, the neighbors in that area are working to pick up the pieces with no financial help from the city. News 8's Adriana Doria spoke with neighbors still affected by all of this. She joins us from the newsroom with the latest.
Amber, neighbors tell me that they have tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage from this water main break back in June. Now they are left searching for help, getting nothing in return, and they say enough is enough. This is what Scott and Stephanie Hall heard and saw from their basement just after 4 a.m. on June 13th. Water rushing through their door after a water main broke in their neighborhood and throughout parts of southeast Grand Rapids.
Well, it's been chaotic to say the least.
And that was the scene looking out of so many people's front doors. Everything underwater.
Still in shock, very much so.
Now, almost 3 months after that water main broke, dozens of homes are left picking up the pieces, looking for anything to help pick up the tab. So the neighbors did what anyone would do. They submitted claims with the city of Grand Rapids for the damages, requesting that they help pay for the repairs. But on Friday, they got this letter in the mail from the city denying their claims. That letter reading in part, quote, "We have determined that governmental immunity does apply in this case and that the city is not liable for the damages that you have described."
It makes me wonder, if it was the city manager's house, how would he feel? I wouldn't want it to happen to him, but how would he feel if his house was pretty much destroyed and the city he works for just went, well, that's too bad.
Now a cry for help as they search for answers, calling on the city to step up.
I don't understand how they aren't held accountable for their infrastructure and the water main breaking. It's not anything that we are responsible for, and it's something that the city should be responsible for.
Wondering if the repair check is worth the payoff.
It makes me rethink, do I want to live in the city of Grand Rapids anymore? Because they really didn't handle this as well as they could have or should have, I feel.
Now we're looking at $60,000 we don't have. After 23 years of living here, I mean, it makes me really jaded to the fact, do I even want to live in this city if that's how they respond to taxpayers that have paid their taxes for 23 years, and when it's their turn to pay up for a mistake that was obviously theirs, they just send you a form letter and go, well, game over. Too bad. Have a nice day.
Government is not going to be helping anybody anymore. Get that straight. I do want to address a comment that I just saw. I'm happy now. I don't like presumptions at all, because presumptions generally are wrong. They're wrong. So, yes, I moved. My life has been utterly destroyed. I'm not happy. I'm not a happy camper. I am very grateful to be here, that a subscriber opened the door. I like this subscriber. We have a good time. We actually laugh a lot. That's very good. But why would you say something about somebody that you don't know is true? So other people chime in. Oh, good, I'm glad. Okay? There's a lot of my needs that do not get met, and it's very frustrating. Do I bring my best self to life? I do. I try my best. Do not presume things about other people when you don't know them. Okay? It's very important, because you're now putting out information about somebody that's not true. I still have a very difficult time every single day. How could I not? My life has been utterly destroyed. I've had subscribers attacking me for years. How could I not? Okay, so it is incredibly important. You don't do that. And I'm not talking about just my life, And for me, when I read things on the internet, in comments, in chats, kind of, if I don't know somebody, I kind of take it for, I give them the benefit of the doubt. But that's been a little, an irritation of mine for many, many years, even before the internet. Okay, so let's get on with it. And yeah, what people are experiencing in their condos, what people are experiencing in their apartment buildings, what people are experiencing in mobile home parks, low-income housing, middle-income housing, upper middle-income housing, all over the country. It is absolutely outrageous that people who are responsible for, maintenance and things like that, they're just not doing their job, and they don't care. They don't care. So,
Noma, this neighborhood north of Massachusetts Avenue, hence the name, has become something of a city unto itself with its own low-rise skyline. But residents of one of those buildings, the Cielo, say this is just too much.
There was a leak coming in our bathroom. That's kind of where it started.
That was Thursday around 1 a.m. Alessandra Torres says she and her boyfriend bailed with buckets, but after a couple of hours, they were up against a torrent. Beyond their door, the sounds of a babbling brook.
We walked outside and saw a lot of the water flowing from like the elevator, which is right across from the unit where I'm at, then went into the staircase, flooding, and even the ceiling from the hallway started to crash into the the floor.
Maintenance and eventually the fire department would respond, but she and her neighbors say this is just the latest and the wettest of the problems they've had.
We have these common area utility fees. They started off at about, really small.
But they say they didn't stay that way. They now have to budget to keep these bulbs burning as well as their own.
For the month of March, my utility fee for the common area building, $40. This month, $180.
Common area fees are in leases, but they say those who were told outright about them didn't expect the spike in those fees.
But now they're about 9% of my rent.
We've already reached out to our Councilmember Charles Allen, and he's actually proposing a bill to make this type of billing illegal in the district.
These residents say, taken as a whole, theirs aren't uncommon experiences among the dwellers of this new enclave and other parts of town. Renters' woes don't respect ward boundaries.
There's such a lack of explanation and communication.
And when I moved in, there was no ceiling in my bathroom.
As for the leak, a Cielo spokesperson explains it was caused by a valve on the 12th floor and that their on-site maintenance and a contractor handled the repair. They're working with residents whose homes were impacted, and they apologized for any inconvenience. Residents say there's an issue bigger than their building.
These type of quality of life, quality of financial life issues are important to the district because we want people to be long-term district residents.
In Noma, Derek Ward, News 4.
Everybody is really having a hard time. Massive blackouts roil Cuba. Power outages totaling 14 hours or more per day reported on Thursday across much of crisis-racked Cuba, leaving millions of residents defenseless in the summer heat and humidity. State-run power company said breakdowns had forced 6 plants offline on the outdated and poorly maintained grid. And guess what? We're Cuba now. Yay! You love it? Whole lot of people experiencing power outages. Oh, that's right. It was the wind. It was the hurricane. It was the tropical storm. It was the rain. Oh, whoopsie. Trees falling down on power lines. Oh, power outages. Oh, well, you're not going to have power for 3 weeks or 2 weeks. Hell, Hurricane Beryl hitting Texas. I have to wonder if all of those residents now have power. That was about a month ago. So, and good news, U.S. participates in world's first lung cancer vaccine trials. Okay.
7 countries are taking part in the world's first lung cancer vaccine trials, including the United States. Researchers hope the vaccine will kill non-small cell lung cancer cells and prevent them from coming back. Joining us now to discuss is Dr. Roy Herbst, Deputy Director of the Yale Cancer Center. Doctor, thanks for your time this evening. The vaccine uses messenger RNA, also known as mRNA. Can you explain for us, please, what it is and why it was chosen for this particular treatment?
Right. Well, actually, this vaccine is very similar to the one that was used to treat COVID and is being used from BioNTech. And basically, when you put a messenger RNA into the body, it makes a protein. And that protein, which mimics some of the proteins on the lung cancer, actually gets the immune system of the patient to then attack the cancer. So it's a way of waking up the immune system to attack a lung tumor. We're very excited to see these clinical trials rolling out.
Doctor, if the results of this study are good and positive, how close would we be to some sort of nationwide rollout of the treatment, do you think?
Well, lung cancer is a difficult disease, the number one cause of cancer death worldwide. And we do a great deal of studies on that here at Yale and many centers around the world. These clinical trials are the key. If someone has this disease, we've done so much better over the last 20 years. I've seen it myself.
mRNA in all these. Okay. Whether it's COVID. Yeah. So much to say. But on YouTube. All right. So, let's do a little DNC. Democrats chanting AOC, AOC, prove she's a fraud. These egotistical, narcissistic, psychopathic, subhuman entities that take the stage. You ask anyone, what has AOC done? Well, for her constituents in Congress since she's been there. No one will be able to answer that question. But yay, AOC, AOC, because Americans love their celebrities. Oh, she's a celebrity. Oh my God, there's AOC.
Because here she is. She came out to give a speech last night at the Democratic National Convention, and watch what happens, Kurt.
For your vision. Thank you. Thank you.
So that is a Democratic convention hall filled with party bosses and Democratic insiders, and they're all chanting her name.
Oh, she gets to stay. I guess the rest of the squad got APAC the F out, but
So
she
then-
must have
so
did
now-
something.
It's over. Well, she voted with the way Nancy Pelosi told her on the Israel funding and the Iron Dome and all that stuff.
Oh,
remember
you
she,
could be the next
she
Nancy
cried.
Pelosi.
Remember she cried, but she did what
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi told her. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Nancy
Hey.
Pelosi walked over to her on the floor of the House, gave her a talking to,
Yeah.
and she voted exactly how Nancy Pelosi told her to.
Old
on
Boney
Israel.
Poloni.
Old Boney Baloney. So there it is. So that's it. That's the culmination of the Justice Democrats. They got another complete insider whose name gets chanted by party bosses and Democratic Party insiders at the Democratic convention. Why? Because she never did anything to stand up against the Democratic establishment. She was there to take young people of color, people with progressive energy, and funnel it right back into an anti-worker, anti-democratic, anti and pro-war party. And she did it. She's for war. She's for the Ukraine war. She's 100% for it. Just like they were at breaking points, just like Kyle Kalinske, just like the Young Turks. They're all for war.
I'll bet you she's earned being allowed to be kind of sad about Gaza once in a while publicly. I bet she's earned that.
Yeah. Well, in fact, Kurt, it's great that you bring that up.
Oh,
because here she is. Let me make it a little bigger. Here's Code Pink. Why won't that do that? Here's Code Pink calling out AOC. This was AOC giving a speech. And Medea Benjamin says, AOC, please don't tell us what Kamala Harris is working tirelessly for, a ceasefire, because that's what she says. AOC in her speech says Kamala Harris is working tirelessly for a ceasefire. Medea Benjamin says, we're not stupid. Why don't you and Kamala call for an arms embargo? Well, that would risk their spot inside the establishment.
Hey,
That's
Kamala's not the president. Like Biden's still the president. Have we all forgotten that he is still the commander?
Well, she is in office, though. Kamala likes to say, "When I'm in office." No, you're in office right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can't. I mean, first of all, she wouldn't. Number one, but no one can call for that and be elected into American office. Not one person can say that and stay in office. That's what the squad.
It just. When I see people who are AOC, 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 Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris, what have these people done that have been good for the American people? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. But unless you believe the lies and accept them as what? Truth? Then you think that they've done something? They have done nothing but enrich themselves while in office off the backs of the American people. I just... Years ago, a friend said to me, you just want people to be better than they are. I want me to be better than I am. I want everybody to be better than they are. That's true. That is absolutely true. Nothing. Oh, okay, Barb. Yeah, it's... And here, asking Democrats why they support Kamala Harris. This is James Klug, which I'll post the link because I'm just going to play a few minutes. But he, too, was asking people in Chicago, Kamala Harris. And you get to see why we are living a nightmare. Americans do not think. They don't think. They don't do any research. And, whatever side they are on, it's like a sport. They're on this team or they're on that team. And they defend because they happen to like them. They won't call out any of their really horrific behaviors, their policies that have destroyed Americans. No, they will defend them to the hilt. And there's no defense. But they'll do it. That's why we're living a nightmare.
Huge shout out to our friends over at Allegiance Gold for sponsoring this video. I want to know, are you excited about Kamala Harris running for president?
I am ecstatic.
Totally. Beyond.
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
100%.
I am excited about her running for president.
It's more energizing. It's amazing that we live in a time where there's an opportunity to have a female president.
It's about time there's a little hope in our country.
Are you excited about her running for president?
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on.
I like this guy. This is a guy that actually thinks he can see reality for what it is. But there just seems to be maybe one or two out of the crowd of people. And that's going to get us nowhere.
No?
No, absolutely not. 2024 Trump.
Why are you ecstatic?
Because for the first time since, I think, 2008, I feel like hope again.
I think she brings hope.
It's very hopeful.
Why is that?
Because it's time for a woman president.
Right.
First of all, we got the first black mayor of City of Philadelphia, Mayor Sherelle Parker. And I think, we need a woman in the...
Yeah. I don't care if she's black. It doesn't matter to me whether you're black or white. What matters to me is, are you going to serve the people? And she's not going to serve the people of America.
Oh, bingo, bingo. It doesn't matter what color of skin you have. It doesn't matter what is between your legs. It doesn't matter. What matters is, will they serve the people? Will they actually, all of the promises that they sell Americans on, that make them waddle to the voting machines and vote for the selected president. Are they of moral character? Do they have a history of demonstrating moral character? Doesn't matter. Man, woman, black, white, it doesn't matter. And So few people get it. And here he is. He's one of them who gets it. I can guarantee you, this man struggles with American life today.
America, the true people of America.
Yeah. Why do you think so? Do you see her as just being a weaker candidate than Donald Trump?
Yes, I do.
She seems to have a good head on her shoulders.
But I think it's a lot of tension in our community right now as a whole. And we need anything we could put in there that can deactivate that tension, bring it down.
It seems to be interested in bringing people together and actually solving problems.
How do you think that's been the last couple of years?
For the signs, they're going the wrong direction.
So if you see it going the wrong direction, Kamala's in office right now, what makes you think that she's going to change that if she's been in office the last 3.5 years?
I think she's going to have it. It's just not her. It's the Congress, it's the Senate, it's other people.
I mean, I love everything she's about, their party's about, Tim Walz's about, all good.
Yeah, I think Walz is a great addition. Has only made us more excited about the ticket.
I think her choice of a running mate was fantastic. I'd never heard of him before.
I think her choice of a running mate was fantastic. I never heard of him. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? It's not just the Israelis. No, look into the Jesuits. Look into an awful lot who are controlling behind the scenes. How about those evangelical Christians that have actually, they give out more money than AIPAC. Yeah. But we don't hear. No, it's just those Israelis, those Jews. No. Oh, they definitely have a lot of power, but they're not the only ones. All right, so I'm going to put the link in the chat again. And what Nancy said is deeper than you think. I'm going to link below to Dark Waters. You can listen by clicking on the link to the full 14-minute video, but I'm just going to play a few minutes.
A lizard person. That's what everybody's saying based on what she said while she was at the Democratic National Convention. So the one and only Stank Only ambassador had to go take a look at this and go see what she has been saying and the things that have been coming out of her mouth. So I know what she said a couple of days ago, but let's just see what Nancy has to say right now. And then I'm going to tell you what Nancy actually is saying to people. It's a little bit more dastardly than what I believe anyone is aware of.
Of course she was going to say that, but...
Poor baby.
Yeah, she's really, really committed to that. It's really sad.
No, I'm not a poor baby. I'm more reptilian and cold-blooded and go in to win the election.
We're going to take a short break. I want to talk to you more about President Biden and some other things.
Thank you.
I'm more of a reptilian, cold-blooded that's going to win the election. Now, if we wanted to jump down the rabbit hole conspiracies, we could possibly say that she's telling you that she's a lizard person.
The link is in the chat. But that wasn't the first time she said it. And unfortunately, I just put the link into Dark Waters again. Let me see if there was another video which was more creepy than that one. Let me see if I can find it. That's Dark Waters. Oh, this is Ovation Eddie 2, which I suggested that you check out his channel.
Now remember, in the last...
And subscribe. But let's take a listen to this.
Election, they said we were going to lose 30 or 40 seats. What? They didn't know what they were talking about. We know we're different from the presidential. We're very discreet, reptilian, cold-blooded. These are the races we have to win. Others are winning the whole country. 10.
Nancy revealed this week what we've known all along.
We're very discreet, reptilian, cold-blooded.
His political opponents. He could even turn the FBI into his own personal police force.
Now, you do understand that narcissists, psychopaths, they always point the finger. What? Point the finger. They have their scapegoats, and what they do, they claim other people do. You know that, right? That's a prime example.
That is not how it works in America.
You don't say their name like it's like say their name like it's like
small tongue thrust. That's a microfacial cue. It's very, very quick to show her anger at the reporter. That's an aggressive cue. And there you see the tongue thrust right there. It's just a brief one.
Yep.
Reptilian, cold-blooded.
Now, why? I showed you 2 times that she said that in a very
media
very short span of time. Everything is orchestrated with these people. So why? Why? Why would any person say that? Yeah, it's medications, by the way, can leave people. Did I just stick my tongue out? I think I did. Medications put on the market are safe. Can actually make people stick out their tongue. So yeah, we've got, look, it's been very obvious that we have very sick people who are ruling us. And meanwhile, the Democratic cities in particular, well, I shouldn't say that because there's a lot of Republican states. Hell, the entire country, our education system is crap. We know that, all right? But there's an awful lot of people who are putting their kids in these schools and they do not know how to read and they do not know how to write. But where they held that DNC, there was no mention of the schooling, the education that these kids are receiving. No mention of an awful lot. They did mention abortion a lot. Yeah. Now I'm so conscious. I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't show my face anymore.
And welcome back to our coverage. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker putting Chicago on a pedestal as a showcase for Democratic policies. But when it comes to things like education, data shows those policies are getting a failing grade in the city's public schools, and they have for a long time. Garrett Tenney is live in Chicago with more. Hi, Garrett.
Yeah, Dana, good morning to you. Sadly, even describing it as a failing grade seems generous when last year only 1 out of every 4 Chicago public school students could read at grade level and only 17% were proficient in math.
We are failing the younger generations. Big time. And the lies that are told, the lies that continue to be told. Listen to this. Former Israeli captive Noah Argamani, issues statement to correct media after they misquoted her. I'm going to read this. Issued a statement to correct the media after they misquoted her testimony at a G7 meeting in Tokyo on Wednesday. Various media channels reported that Argamani had said that her hair was cut by her captors. So that's what mainstream media was saying. Her hair was cut by her captors, meaning Hamas. And that she was beaten or hit all over her body. That's what mainstream media was claiming she said. In her Instagram story shared on Friday, Argamani clarified that she had said, "I had cuts all over my head and I was hurt all over my body." She stressed that her hair was not cut, that she was not beaten, and that her injuries resulted from the building she was in collapsing on her after it was bombed by the Israeli Air Force. That's your mainstream media for you. We can't say that her injuries were caused by Israelis. No, it was Hamas. It was her captors. Don't you hate this world? It's... What is it, little one? Come here, sweetheart. You're crying too. We're all crying. Come on up here. You can cry with us. Yeah. So she criticized media for taking things out of context and said that as a victim of October 7, she would not allow herself she would not allow herself to be victimized again by the media. Multiple media outlets have corrected or deleted content with the incorrect quotes. But you know what? When they put something out first, cleaning it up almost doesn't matter. And they know that. A video showing Argamani being taken out of Israel on the back of a motorcycle went viral on October 7. She was rescued alongside 3 other captives by Israeli forces in June. During an operation in which at least 274 Palestinians were killed. Okay. Look, this is why I say, it's the problems of the world. You can just put them under the umbrella of the lie. Of the lie. It stems from the lie. And people really need to take a good look at themselves. Because, especially in our country, we have grown up in a country of the lie. How How are you? Oh, I'm fine. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. Got to be positive. Always be positive. You got to sell yourself. That's just, the ordinary people. Can't be real. Can't talk about how you really feel in life. Can't share my thoughts because they're a little bit different than my social network. So I've got to go along to get along. All of that creates madness. And it really sinks joy. Yeah. Say it loud, say it proud, Jack Bauer. So, I thought about not playing this because I think a lot of people will listen to this and roll their eyes and think it's so dramatic. I'm going to play it because it hit home, it's true, and it's to see the amount of apathy in our country is really scary. It's really scary. And we have to change.
Weep. Weep, sisters, for the child with the blown-out skull, for the other child.
This is the truth. It's not dramatic. This is true. This is what's going on today. Okay? And no, it's not just the IDF or the Israelis. This is the American war as well. And Americans really should care. They should care that children, especially, are being blown to bits. Everyone should care. How can you claim to be a good person if you don't care? War between evil and good. Forget about the color of skin. Forget about the sex. Forget about the religion. Forget about it all. Because every side, every category of people, they have evil and they have good. But evil is trouncing. Evil is winning. That's because a lot of good people who think they're good do nothing, and they don't care. Unfortunately, you really do need to do a lot of work on yourself to get yourself to a place of care, generative care, because that's genuine care. When you actually care, you feel motivated to do something. That's care. Just saying that you care. And I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about who I used to be. Oh, I cared. Hey, you want to go to the movies tonight? Well, I didn't go to a whole lot of movies, but, So, we do the bullshit. Oh, I care and I'm compassionate. Oh, the football game's on?
Burned alive, for the limp, lifeless, tiny bodies and the piles of unrecognizable carnage. Weep, brothers, for the cackling politicians, for the apathetic Westoids, for the human drones chanting "We love Joe," and the DNC attendees covering their ears to avoid hearing the names of murdered children in Gaza. Weep for this fraud-faced civilization, this microplastics civilization, this OnlyFans civilization, this Moloch civilization Ginsberg wrote about in Howl, this civilization with enormous forced grins over plates full of shredded children in selfies with AOC and Tim Walz. Weep.
I need to interject right now. True blood till I die. It is not the Jews' plan. Okay? It's very important. It's the Zionists' plan. Big difference. Okay?
With careless abandon. Weep till the sobbing wrings you out like a sponge. Weep with head back, screaming sloppy and snot-nosed, rib cage splayed open to the heavens, and human heart beating unguarded and unhidden. There are no answers in the weeping. There are no solutions in the tears. There is only the release of something that needs release, and an act of sacred solidarity, and an act of unauthorized humanity, and the small private victory of having gone one more breath without being assimilated by the machine.
Yeah. Men board Metro North in New York City with body parts, dump them in Yonkers.
Well, now to gruesome new details after a dismemberment.
YouTube, you're such a fun game to play.
Well, now to gruesome new details after a dismembered body was found inside a shopping cart in Yonkers.
All right, Richard Giacobis has the latest and the new video tying the crime scene to an apartment in the Bronx.
New surveillance video obtained by Fox 5 captures the moment two men walk past this apartment building on Rogers Place in the Bronx's Longwood section. They're wheeling a cart that neighbors fear may have been the remains of a dismembered human body.
It's twisted. Somebody did that thing to somebody else. That somebody maybe has. It's crazy.
Sinister and methodical. It's sad. Very sad.
The sick and twisted crime was uncovered just before 2 a.m. Monday on the Yonkers-Mount Vernon border when police came across a body without hands or feet set on fire inside a shopping cart on the Oak Street Bridge. But investigators determined this was just a dump site.
It's scary. It is scary.
Through video surveillance, cops traced the suspects back to this 5-story walk-up on the corner of 163rd Street. Sources say the victim was killed inside an apartment at 903 Rogers Place, where the body was dismembered. The suspects boarded a Metro North train with the wrapped-up corpse in a shopping cart and rode it all the way to the Mount Vernon West train station stop.
We have to be careful, watch more, check more the cameras.
Crime scene investigators were seen carting out evidence from the building most of the day here in the Bronx.
Wow, man. This country is gone. It's really gone. Really. Wow. Neighbors deal with fallout of Aurora apartment shutdown. And the Aurora, Colorado Venezuelan gang kind of taking over the apartment building.
I've never owned a home before, so this was my first purchase.
She lives just 500 feet from this recently vacated apartment complex near Colfax Avenue and Nome Street.
They got the notice on a Wednesday, and they were kicked out on Tuesday. So when it was happening, like, people were just throwing their things out the window.
The city of Aurora said it shut down the complex because living conditions are unfit for human habitation and code violations dating back to 2 years. While the management company claimed they could not do any maintenance or repairs because the complex was overrun by a Venezuelan gang.
There's nowhere for them to go. So they park in front of the house and they sleep when they can.
Max says it causes her street to be lined up with cars, sometimes blocking her own driveway. She captured this photo of a tent and people camped outside near her street. Aside from that, she's also noticed an uptick in crime, like break-ins.
They've taken tools, they've taken the batteries. I'm not sure that they have necessarily monetary value. I lost my husband, and now I'm losing his things.
Aurora police telling Fox 31, since the abatement, they have had 2 calls to the 1600 block of Nome Street, both labeled as suspicious occurrences and relate to being on someone's property and ringing a doorbell. Both have since been cleared, but Max still has fears.
We've lost our security and we've lost our freedom to live in our home. You're afraid to leave because it's not in the middle of the night and it's not in the middle of the day. It's around the clock.
So I also reached out to the city of Aurora and a spokesperson telling me in a statement tonight.
We encourage anyone who is experiencing a crime to call the police. Good luck. Louisiana Skywatch. When I was a kid, I dreamed of visiting York. York? Do you mean New York? Now it's ruined, it is. The mayor of Marysville was attacked while walking down the street. This is in California.
We're just talking, nothing. It's a beautiful afternoon, and the next thing I know, pow, really hard. It was so hard, I thought I got hit by a car or something.
Marysville Mayor Chris Branscombe says the punch in the back caught him by surprise Thursday afternoon. He was standing in the middle of this crosswalk on 5th Street, joined by Marysville Police Chief Chris Sachs and City Council member Don Belza. The group was there meeting with U.S. Congressman Doug LaMalfa on the site of the Hotel Marysville fire.
I mean, for crying out loud, I'm standing right here next to the chief of police. Now, he did not have on a flourish, in his uniform with a lot of flourish. He had a black polo, badge, gun, but he's standing like this, and this guy probably didn't notice there was a policeman right next to me.
Councilmember Belza quickly reacted and says he sprang into action after seeing the man take off running down the sidewalk.
Part of the way down the street, about halfway down the street, and he realized that I was close to him in pursuit, and he turned around and squared up to me, and he punched me on the side of the head, and so I took him down onto the concrete and restrained him and waited for the police chief to get there to help restrain him and deal with him.
The man, later identified as Derek Hopkins, was arrested and booked in jail. Officials describe him as unhoused with a known criminal history. Mayor Branscombe believes the attack was completely random since no words were exchanged. But he says he is thankful the man did not attack him with a weapon.
I'm 75 and in better shape than most, I think, my age. I was talking to a friend of mine out earlier today. He's in his 80s, and he said, God, if someone hit me like that, he might have killed me. And that's it. And it's unexplainable, and you want to be able to forgive someone, but that's just evil.
Father speaks out after 4-year-old stabbed, allegedly by the child's aunt.
4-year-old girl's in the hospital after she was attacked by her own family member. We have learned that police are searching for the child's aunt. Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis joins us live from outside the hospital in Patterson. And Marcus, you have an update on that child's condition this morning.
That's right, Pedro. That child underwent surgery, multiple injuries, internal injuries. Spoke with the victim's father, who's here. He's been here throughout the night, making sure that his daughter is okay. So Amber Lassane was injured yesterday, stabbed allegedly by her aunt. She has suffered a punctured lung, punctured liver, underwent surgery. Her diaphragm was also affected. She continues to recover here at St. Joseph's Hospital. The incident itself took place around 4 o'clock on 10th Avenue in Patterson. The victim's aunt was babysitting the child, and at some point there was some sort of dispute. The victim's mother brought that child out of the home. She was covered in blood on the way to the hospital here, where, again, she is being treated. And as we said, the victim's father has been here throughout.
I was totally dumbfounded and I was shocked because I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe it at all. However, I rushed to the hospital as fast as I could when I got here, and I've been here ever since. She couldn't respond because she had tools and everything down there, but she opened her eyes, and when she heard my voice, she started, you know, making eye contact, trying to see me, and that brought joy to me that she was responsive.
What the hell is going on with people? All right, I want to thank our very own Taylor Noose for sending me a lot of information, but the tweets that you will see come from Taylor Noose. Has anyone been woken by their name being said in their ear? I heard a man's voice, as clear as day, say my name right in my ear this morning. It's happened before, but this morning it was so clear. I didn't recognize the voice at all. It wasn't my husband. He was well away. Ugh, you're accessing astral plane, the next level of consciousness, if you like. Give me a fucking break. No, what you are experiencing is a targeting of frequencies. Look out for Charlie, that channel. All right. They can target people with frequencies. I played a video of Look Out for Charlie. It was an interview with Nick Begich, who was talking about HARP and frequencies and how they can literally, through frequencies, send a voice to your ear. A lot of people think that they're hearing God speak to them. Could it be the evil terrorists, government officials, military officials, CIA? Maybe it's not God. What's happening? Families, murder-suicides are spiking. An aunt stabs the 4-year-old niece. Okay, we're seeing an awful lot of these crimes, quote unquote, and you have to wonder what the hell is going on with people. Epidemic of abandoned babies. An epidemic of abandoned babies. No, there's a whole lot new under the sun. There is a whole lot new under the sun. This is not what we have seen. Unprecedented. We've never seen this before. This kind of crime, this explosion of crime, this explosion of people who don't give a shit about it, and, well, they never did. They're just showing their true colors. Okay. But, yeah. When you don't beat back evil, evil will beat you badly. Epidemic of abandoned babies.
Harris County Sheriff's Office is looking for the person who dumped a newborn in a ditch. A lawn crew found the body yesterday. That makes 6 abandoned babies in our area since June. Troy Kless spent the day looking into this problem that law enforcement is now calling an epidemic in Harris County. Troy?
Well, Len, we heard that term epidemic again when we spoke to a child safety advocate today. But they say that fire stations like Station 28 here in West Houston that have signs like this can be a key to saving lives.
There apparently has been somewhat of a little bit of an epidemic.
Harris County Sheriff's deputies responding to an infant found dead in a ditch on Tuesday, the second case like it in just a week. The news has child safety advocates and first responders sharing an important message today.
Yes, if you can't take care of your baby, then bring it somewhere. Don't kill it. Yeah, okay. And this is what people are living through. Can you imagine living near this section of the Bay Area, you know, the San Francisco area up there in California? Can you imagine listening to this? This is your neighborhood. And apparently the police can't do a thing about this. This has been going on. These takeovers of streets. The police can't do anything about it? Really? No. Things can be done. But things aren't being done because we are in a state of collapse. Bring it on. But the UK, wow. So, Birmingham, a man pushing a prom was stabbed in the neck by a knife attacker last night. Another stabbing.
Alright, listen, hello guys.
Yeah, neck shot. He dead, you know that. Neck shot.
Okay, well, we have an awful lot of that stuff going on here in our country. I think it's new for the UK, but I mean, our lives are being destroyed. Our lives are being destroyed. And this is unbelievable. It's just because I'm so not used to seeing any of this in the UK, and now it's on. Well, I got comments from people who were saying this is a daily thing. They might mention one stabbing, but they're having, like, there were 2 stabbings. Mainstream media just ignored the other one. The stabbings that are taking place, but the stabbings that are taking place in our country. Now, New York comes up a lot, but I have no doubt that this is taking place in other cities. Things are getting, well, things have been out of control for a very, very long time, but things are really kind of speeding up now, right? You are never getting your country back. Africans waving Irish and British passports mocked the people of Ireland and the UK. And I can't play this video, it won't play. So I will link to it. And if they're mocking those who live in the country, and they've come into the country, they know that they can do anything to the citizens of their country because they have received messages that they can, and they will, and they have, and they will continue. UK government prepares to deploy asylum seekers across the country. Immigrants will be given priority over Britons when it comes to finding housing. Yes. The Great Stammer. UK Protestants and Catholics unite.
What happens when 2 sworn enemies unite? Could the very thing that divided them for decades now bring them together? In Northern Ireland, Catholic nationalists and Protestant unionists, long at odds, have found common ground in an unexpected alliance. Welcome back to Nowhere Diary. In this video, we'll unravel these rare moments of unity between 2 opposing groups, sworn enemies united by a common cause. It's truly a sight to behold.
Okay, I'm going to post the link and you can watch Nowhere Diary, this video. Denmark suddenly declares war on the Muslim immigration. And the link is in the chat. Just play a few minutes.
Denmark, once a beacon of humanitarianism, slammed its doors on Muslim immigrants. Could this drastic shift be the only way to save its cherished welfare system? Welcome back to Nowhere Diary. Today, we'll talk about why Denmark doesn't want Muslim immigrants anymore. This Nordic country made decision to radically overhaul its immigration policy, and many people see it as controversial. Let's explore why this scenic and once hospitable country is saying it's had enough.
Why? Because their culture has drastically changed, and a whole lot coming into the country are causing an awful lot of crime, changing their culture. Not assimilating, but changing the culture. Same thing that is happening in the UK. Right? Yeah. Okay. Isn't it interesting that they arrested a woman for silently praying, not on her knees. She was just standing in front of an abortion clinic, silent, just praying, silently arrested her. But you have Muslims who literally will, well, it's time for prayer, take out their rugs on the streets and pray in public on the streets that hold up traffic. But nothing happens to them. I am not someone who is an Islamophobe. I'm none of those things. I am someone who, if you go into, even in America, you go from state to state, you respect the ways, and we have a lot of cultural differences here in states. So a lot of Californians are going into places like Idaho or Montana and changing things, or Texas, changing things. Well, you left California for a reason. So now you're bringing California to Texas, to Montana, to Idaho, to other states. But you don't do that. You assimilate. You respect their ways. Well, the same thing is true. When you immigrate into another country, you assimilate. You don't force those people in their country to adapt to your ways. Common sense, right? Germany, mass stabbing. And the Islamic State took responsibility for this mass stabbing in Germany. It was at a festival, 3 dead. I didn't pull up the article where the Islamic State took responsibility for this stabbing. At least 9 people stabbed. So we can feel pretty confident by saying that our governments are doing squat to protect us, right? In fact, what they are doing is leaving us very vulnerable to an awful lot of violent crime. All of our Western countries. Texas sheriff who endorsed Kamala ripped into her border policy. Okay. It's amazing what people say. But hey, money speaks. And this guy, as far as I'm concerned, was bought off, paid to lie at the DNC.
I didn't really watch the Republican convention. I'm sure it was the same thing. But this is really disgusting, right? Because the Democrats are supposed to be the party of the people. But you're just surrounded by brainwashed mental cases who don't care about anything except abortion. That's all they talked about the whole time I was in there yesterday was abortion. So I want to show you this. They had a sheriff, a Texas sheriff, endorse Kamala and said, oh, she's doing the greatest job on the border, unlike Trump, all this stuff, right? Well, this video resurfaced of this guy just less than 2 years ago. He was begging Kamala to come down and come down to the border. I have one more. Let me grab. I have one more video. Here it is. So I'll show you this video.
Has been fighting border crime for years.
She's been fighting border crime for years.
She's gone down to Mexico and worked to stop the traffickers.
She's gone down to Mexico. He didn't say the border. Did you notice he didn't say the border?
When the traffickers didn't stop, she put them in jail.
Tell us about what you... Now here's the video that surfaced from less than 2 years ago on NBC. Here we go.
You are asking for, what are your needs?
Well, right now, thank you for having me. First off, right now, what I'm asking for is for the president or a member of his administration that can make decisions to come down and talk to not just me, but at least 12 other Texas sheriffs from major counties in the state of Texas that are dealing with this issue firsthand. So I'd like to see somebody from Washington come down here, get boots on the ground, get eyes on the issue at hand, and then talk to us, a bipartisan group of Texas sheriffs that are really taking a common sense approach because we have to.
So you want to watch that again? That is quite stunning.
Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years. She's gone down to Mexico and
Not the border.
worked to stop the traffic.
You know that thing he asked for somebody from the Biden administration to come down and get a firsthand look? They didn't do that.
And when the traffickers didn't stop, she put them in jail.
Tell us about what you are asking for. What are your needs?
Well, right now, thank you for having me. First off, right now, what I'm asking for is for the president or a member of his administration that can make decisions to come down and talk to not just me, but at least 12 other Texas sheriffs from major counties in the state of Texas that are dealing with this issue firsthand. So I'd like to see somebody from Washington come down here, get boots on the ground, get eyes on the issue at hand, and then talk to us, a bipartisan group of Texas sheriffs that are really taking a common sense approach because we have to.
So that didn't happen. And yet here he is. And
mainstream media, remember, Kamala Harris was the czar, the border czar. That was mainstream media years ago. Now they claim she never was a border czar. I hear a high-pitched tone, my right ear. I mean, don't Americans, can't they remember something so that they understand that they're being, gaslighted? Okay, I guess not. What is this? Oh. Well, I'm just going to play a few minutes of this. This was an interesting video that a subscriber sent to me, and I want to thank all subscribers for sending me information. Towers, Beirut, well, spelled wrong, but Beirut bunker busters. Look at this. The dispossession, the great social housing swindle, 2017, and I'm not sure where this is, but look at these buildings that all are being brought down in their footprints, but, oh, right, the World Trade Centers. Yeah, that was different.
For the last 10, 20 years, housing stock that used to be here is down, it's gone.
Because what we have here is something far worse. You know, in 1995, I wrote a book called Fighting Terrorism, and I said that if we don't arrest the tide of Islamic militant terrorism, militant Islamic terrorism, then the next thing that will be is not a car bomb in the World Trade Center, but a nuclear bomb. Now, it wasn't a nuclear bomb. It was a 350-ton conventional bomb.
So what do you do?
What did he say? Did he say a bomb hit the World Trade Center?
And I said that if we don't arrest the tide of Islamic militant terrorism, militant Islamic terrorism, then the next thing that will be is not a car bomb in the World Trade Center, but a nuclear bomb. Now, it wasn't a nuclear bomb. It was a 350-ton conventional bomb.
So what do you do when you beat the insurance companies in court and they still won't pay? A new governor was just elected. Elliot Spitzer, an old friend who I knew well. And I said, Elliot, if you don't help me, I'll never collect from the insurance companies. And guess what? He listened, and he said, you know what? You're entitled. I'm going to get you the money. And in 6 months, he got me the $4.5 billion. So it's going to be interesting, because once we get finished with Tower 3, we're then going to proceed to Tower 2. And Tower 2, Tower 2 is probably going to take about $2.4 billion.
The guy blows up Tower 3, and then from insurance, because the governor of New York helped him get the 4 point whatever billion. And, well, nothing hit Tower 3. But that came down in its footprint. But, hey, Americans, you just turn on the latest football game. Ugh.
Well, the bottom line of the Israeli nuclear program is the so-called Samson option. This is a form of extreme nuclear blackmail. If the world doesn't go along with Israel, especially in a situation where Israel felt that its existence as an apartheid Jewish state and crime base for the world's biggest banksters is ever threatened, then it will blow up the capitals of Europe as well as the Middle East, and implicitly they're also threatening the United States. Though they may not have missiles that can reach the United States, as I said, there are reports in the intelligence community that, in fact, Israel has planted miniature nuclear weapons in American cities.
And this video, now looking at the videos we've seen come out of Beirut, it looks strikingly similar in the aftermath. See this?
That's 7 months ago?
7 months ago. And what caught that was the shockwave was what shocked me. I haven't seen a shockwave like that before. It's very distinctive.
Until today.
It's very distinctive.
Yeah, it's the same shape. Everything looks identical.
It looks like an air bubble coming up and then dissipating. That's exactly what we saw in Beirut.
Like a low-yield nuclear blast.
Yes, and the Israelis and Americans refer to this as bunker busters. The Moab could be considered the most powerful bunker buster we have.
estimation, that's a wow. Left off at 4:39 and it's a 9-minute video. And the link is in the chat. You'll want to watch the entire thing. Yeah. Evil spreads when good men and women sit around. I'm so good, but do nothing. They are. They're evil beyond anything that I can comprehend. I can't. You know, it's But you fight the evil in your community and then work beyond that. But you need a lot of people because evil, woof, yeah, it never stops, keeps coming back, keeps coming back. And an awful lot of people, just don't want to believe. Well, they look like me, and, he's wearing a suit, and, he has the same color skin as I do, and he has he's very successful, and, he's in a very powerful position. He can't be evil. Oh, boy. So wrong. So wrong. All right, guys. Yeah. Lots going on in the world. A whole lot. And unfortunately, I don't like just watching it unfold. So, the best thing that you can do is get active in your community, help the elderly, help, those in need, pick up extra food, for the food banks and for your animal shelters, the local. There are things that we can be doing. It's your choice whether or not you're going to do it. So, yeah, I appreciate everyone who has shown up. Thank you. I hope to see you tomorrow night. The only possible way to change anything is to live honestly and speak honestly. Be reliable. Be trustworthy. But you got to do work on yourself to get there. If you're thinking you're there and you've never done any kind of self-reflection, self-examination, cleared up those issues that everybody has, you ain't there. And no, you don't know yourself. That's the truth that sets you free, not the truth outside of us that's happening to us collectively. It's the truth of you inside yourself. Getting to that truth, that's what sets you free. Be safe. Be safe. Help those in need. And on that note, I say, good night and good luck. Ciao, guys.